Welcome back to another episode of the Baker and the Banker podcast. I'm Jenny Keller of Jenny Cookies, and this is my mortgage guy, Dan.
This prime energy drink in hand, ready to go.
You're crazy. You should be drinking Better Greens. I've got my Better Greens in hand.
I know. Well, it's perfect for today's topic because
Although I think these are supposed to be good for you, right?
Prime's not bad. I think Hudson and Allie have been talking about this.
Allie is not. She's on the Better Greens train with me.
No, but it's because it's Jake Paul. I think this is Jake Paul's. It's like the newest thing. 10 calories in this can. I don't know, whatever. Does it taste good? Yeah. I don't get the jitters, so.
Does it give you your daily servings of fruit and vegetables?
Not like Better Greens. No.
Okay. And your apple cider vinegar and all the good things. But all that to say, we've got our energy.
I still do Better Greens.
Yeah, you should.
I just like a little energy drink because to sip on throughout the day. So it's good.
Hey, how you doing over there? I mean, we live together, but we're in that season of like kind of, man, I don't know, passing in the night, but definitely just trying to get all the things done. Not a lot of alone time in the last few weeks. Not a lot of walks, you guys.
No,
we have not had our nightly walks because we've had the craziest couple of weeks.
Yeah, here's why.
Well, if we go back to, okay, I literally said it in one of our last podcasts, how I call May 2nd December. I said, buckle up, you guys. It's the busiest month of the year, 2nd to December. And we're in it. We're halfway through.
Yeah.
But the first week of May, we celebrate Metro de Mayo, which is our little dessert truck on Cinco de Mayo.
Little dessert truck that is doing
little
big
engine that
things.
could. Yes.
It's doing big things. We brought it in the rain.
You did. You drove it.
I brought it in the rain with one wiper.
Yes.
Downtown Edmonds. And you didn't even work. You kind of set it up.
Barely.
And then you had to run home to meet a painter or something.
No, I had to get Allie ready for prom.
There you go. And so your mom and Hudson worked it, sold out in 2.5 hours.
Yep. So basically we sold out an hour and a half early.
Yeah.
You guys showed up in Edmonds. Thank you.
One of my realtor friends, because you were parked in front of kind of next to Windermere Real Estate downtown, texted me a picture. And I was actually home with you getting ready for Allie's prom pictures. And there was literally a 50 to 70 foot line in the rain,
umbrellas,
down
coats,
the sidewalk on 5th Street in Edmonds. It was awesome.
It was.
It was good.
We've got to go back. I mean, if that many people show up in the rain, can you imagine on a sunshine day?
Yeah. Well, you got good news because they said they will let you come back, right?
Yeah. Yep. I just got to find room in our calendar. So meanwhile, Hudson and my mom are just killing it at the Metro. I'm feeling like I want to be in two places at once more than I ever have in my whole life because I'm worried about her and her line. But she said Hudson totally showed up and helped. And so we get Allie off to her prom, which was adorable. And she's been dating the same guy for the last 2.5 years. And he's just the sweetest. I couldn't ask for a better boyfriend for Allie. He shows up with an umbrella for her because it was raining. And when she got home that night, I said, did any of the other guys have umbrellas for their dates? And she's like, no, just Noah. So
he's a good kid.
He's so sweet. And she looked beautiful and she had a fun night. And I said, but you can't stay out too late because tomorrow we have to get up early because we have our first ever cookie party, AKA cookie class, since 2019 here in Everett.
It was great.
Sold out, 80 amazing women. Actually, there was one guy.
2 including me.
Yep. And it was fun. I had the whole fam working. Hudson was at baseball, but you were there. My mom was there. Allie was there.
Again, chaos. I drive the Metro back to your bake shop this morning.
Yep.
Allie dropped Hudson off at baseball, came to Everett with me to set up and you to set up. We set up. You have the most amazing team, by the way. Everyone showed up huge. We got everything set up at Life and Light, an amazing location right off of I-5 in Everett. And I love helping you with your events because I get to meet you have the best customers, clients, friends, whatever you call it.
The cookie community, the cookie
so
squad.
Amazing. Yep. And so I got to help with that. And that was 2 hours of just fun and chaos.
It was so funny because I'm trying to teach the class and I made it a party because I knew with that many people, you just lose attention. And you have all these naked cookies and icing bags and sprinkles sitting in front of people. It's like putting candy in front of toddlers. Like I'm trying to show them how to decorate 6 shapes or 6 designs. I got through 2.
I know.
And it was so loud. Nobody cared anymore.
And I
They
think they had
just
fun.
wanted to decorate. Oh
Everyone
my gosh,
had
we
fun.
got the best feedback from
Yeah.
that class. People came into the bake shop this
Yeah.
weekend. They're like, we had so much fun. I had a girl come in and buy her rolling pin and her spatulas
Yeah.
and cookie cutters and aprons. And she's like, I'm obsessed with cookies since your class. So
Cool.
it was fun. Directly after that.
No, but let me say this.
Oh, okay.
I was telling everyone after that, I am so blessed to be in mortgage.
Why?
That was hard work.
Oh, it was a lot of work.
Setting up. And then we're going to talk about energy today, but just when you have to turn the switch on for entertaining, like I speak, I was gone all last week speaking at events. It's a different type of fatigue, like
It
emotional or I think it's emotional fatigue, like mental fatigue versus physical. Helping you is both emotionally.
You get it
and
now?
physically too. It's hard work.
I know.
Yeah.
I've been trying to explain this to Dan for years, and it's probably just my personality or the way that I'm wired. But when I put on an event or a party or have something at the bake shop where I'm interacting with tons of people,
Yeah.
I love it so much, but it sucks all of my energy. I need a couple days to like
Recover.
recharge. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I kind of have to flip the switch and
Yeah.
put on like hostess mode and make sure everybody has a really good time.
Yeah.
And I love doing it. It just drains me. So the next day, we got up early, went to Hudson's baseball game all day long. And then
All
we
day
came
long.
home. Yeah, it was a doubleheader.
Doubleheader.
While I was grateful to sit there in the sun, I was thinking about the pile of all the things that
Yeah.
were brought back home to be put away. But we got home from that game and I just like crawled into my bed and took a nap.
I think you did.
You look tired even thinking about it right now. You're like,
I'm really trying to think back
Gazing
because the
off.
last couple of weeks have been a blur.
well, I know because right after that, you woke up the next morning, drove to SeaTac. Actually, I took you.
You took me.
And you flew straight to Nashville.
Yeah.
Then from Nashville, you flew to San Antonio.
So that was all last week.
That was
Gone.
last week. I know,
Gone.
like, where are we? What day is it?
It's Monday.
It's Monday.
And we're doing a live.
So you were gone the whole
Podcast.
week. While you were gone,
Yeah.
I was managing the renovations of the house. So we've got the floors
Yeah.
now refinished. We've got the trim back on. We've got
It
the
looks
painter
beautiful.
in there. I mean, we've ripped out cabinets. We've ripped out carpets. We're on it. We're going. I started packing the house. You guys, if you're moving, can I introduce you to these new things called packing bags? Have you seen them? I don't even know if you've noticed in
No.
our house because it's so empty, but there's these big giant plastic bags they sell at Amazon and they have a handle and zipper and they're so nice for packing blankets and pillows and clothes and anything soft.
I need to introduce them to the real estate community.
Yes.
How did
It's
you find packing bags?
Amazon. They
I know,
have
but
everything. Well, I went on Amazon to get packing boxes
Okay.
and I made a few boxes and I'm like, this sucks. You know, you have to
So what do you do with
Fold
these
'em,
packing
pack-
bags when you're done? Like boxes you,
just-
can recycle.
I mean, you can recycle them. You can give them to Goodwill. You could save them if you want. I
can
have
re-gift 'em.
quite a collection now because I
Great.
thought it's going to be easier than making all the boxes. And I think they were really similar in price, to be honest.
Well, maybe, I'm just throwing this out there, that we gift them to one of my next clients.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
For moving.
Yep.
And then we have them do the same thing, gift
yeah.
them to one of their friends.
I mean, think about a box. You make a box and you fit like 2 pillows in it where you can shove them down in these bags and then they're just easy to move. Allie and Hudson already packed both their rooms almost in the
Okay.
packing bag. So
Gifting bags.
So we did that. I'm
Big
trying to think
takeaway.
of what else we had. Oh my gosh, it was Mother's Day weekend. So
Okay.
again, 2nd to December at the bake shop, we've got Mother's Day, which is one of our busiest days.
Well, it's one of our favorite days at our house for you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I spent it at the baseball field, you know, in my least favorite heat of all time. There was one light pole. Picture a light pole at the baseball field.
Picture
and it's giving
85 degrees, and you don't sit in the aluminum
No,
stands.
just
the metal
radiates
stands.
heat.
So we're standing down the right field line, but there's a big foul pole or light pole, and it just happened to cast a shadow
Maybe a
just wide enough for you to stand behind. And it was great. There was a little breeze.
Yeah.
I got some sun. I don't
Dan
mind
can
sun.
handle the sun.
like the sun.
I
You
think
melt.
in my age, I just keep getting wimpier and wimpier when it comes to the sun. I can't do it. I'm just hot.
Well, luckily Hudson only had one game.
Yeah.
One game. But we did miss our reservations for
That's
lunch,
okay.
for brunch.
Because you know what it is? It's Subway season.
We had
We've got
Subway.
baseball 6 days a week right now. We have now had Subway every single day for the last week.
I was
And
like,
then
what
I
do you wanna
thought, let's
do?
just make it the 7th day
Sub.
too.
Subway.
Allie, pick up some sub sandwiches. I'm getting some for tonight. Like it's a streak. We're on a Subway streak.
Okay, so what is your favorite sub? Because you're on to something here, because seriously, this girl has eaten sub sandwiches. I don't know. You're on a streak.
Yeah, we are. I'm basic.
What's so great about Subway for you?
It's easy. It feels like the healthiest choice when you're on a roll.
So we're going
to
Subway.
Hurry.
What are you grabbing?
I always do turkey breast and ham. Have to have onions to give it that flavor and bad breath for, the next couple hours. Have to have tomato.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not that like
mustard, mayo, salt, pepper.
Yep. Yeah, I learned you don't get a lot of those things. I'm like, what a boring sub. I like get smashed avocado. I love learning people's sub sandwiches. It's kind of fun. So all that to say, oh my gosh, we've been so busy. Yeah. Bake Shop was crazy Saturday. I got to work with my mom and a couple of the Cookie Squad girls, and it's always fun to see customers drive up from Renton and Puyallup and Vancouver and Bellevue and just all over the place. And I was talking to my mom today, and I said, yeah, we did. That was at the class. We had Canvas, California, and Colorado. But for the Bake Shop, I said, we've got to do Mother's Day next year, like a double event where we're down in Edmonds maybe.
Split it up.
It's just hard to get, like, we're only one little bakery with 2 tiny ovens and 1 small team. But I think every year we get better. So
I love your team.
Stay
I actually
tuned.
got to go out with your team after your party and
that
hang
was
out.
so fun.
I loved it. Yeah, all of you guys. We jammed in a booth at Anthony's and the Woodfire Grill.
It was really
You
fun.
have a great team.
Yeah.
You are blessed.
Yes, I am. But what I keep hearing throughout all of this and all the crazy and the social media, because on top of that, there's 5,000 other things we haven't even said we've been up to. But people are like, I wish I had your energy. How do you have the energy? I wish I had your energy. And I thought that's a good podcast for today, right? Because we all are probably feeling pretty low energy this time of year with all the things. We're just, we're crawling to the finish line of school. Like we're crawling to the finish line of sports. There's that funny Jen Hatmaker blog post. It's so funny about how, like, your kids' folders are falling apart. You're literally putting like ketchup packets and mustard into their lunch boxes. Like, here's a lunch. So you're almost there. So how are we going to do it, Dan? How are we going to get through the next, let's see, 2 more weeks?
Yeah. Teachers are losing their minds.
Oh my gosh,
now.
they're watching movies. They're rolling in the movie.
One of the things that I think you've always done in regards to how do you do it? How do you have so much energy? This is what I've noticed in being married to you is you always, you segment time periods in our life or throughout the year. So you're always like, hey, we only have 1 month left and then it's this.
Yeah.
So it's always like you have something that you're shooting for, that you're working toward, or I can get through this. This is the toughest time, or this is the deadest time, or this is the most chaotic time of the year. I hear you talking about that all the time. Like you've got 2 weeks left or 1 month left, or I can't wait until X.
Yeah.
So I think that helps because it's not like you're running a marathon. You're running these little short sprints.
Yes.
Is kind of how I would describe how it is. And people ask me this all the time. Oh my gosh, how does Jenny do it?
But you too, you've been doing all kinds of stuff too.
I don't compartmentalize certain things like you do or departmentalize certain things like you do. I think energy for me is I think when you truly love what you do, like I love what I do, I don't look at, oh my gosh, I've got to go to Nashville and I've got to go to San Antonio and then I've got to come home and I've got to do this. I think this is a big mindset. I knew you were going to say that. And that's something we've talked about on Monday Night Live. We've shared it on social media. I talked about it in my cookie class. Dan introduced me to, he's a motivational speaker, best-selling author, John Gordon. And so just following him, you'll just see all his little nuggets. And it's just replacing the word have to get to. And it changes your whole mindset. It was really cute. I was sitting with your mom at Hudson's baseball game while you were in San Antonio. And she said, I've just really been practicing that a whole lot. And it's really helping me. And I said, I know, me too. I started doing that in 2020. We said it, and so Heather and I would say it a lot. We still laugh about it because she'll say, what are you doing for Mother's Day weekend? And she's like, I get to go to a dance competition in San Antonio and sit in a gym for the next 4 days. Well, perspective is big because what's the alternative? The alternative is I don't get to anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Or something tragic happened to me and I wish I could do that. Or my kids are gone and I just wish I could go to one more dance recital.
Oh my gosh, that's exactly what my mom said. She was standing there with your mom, the 3 of us, and she said, I don't think she really necessarily heard it from John Gordon, but she said, one thing I think about all the time was my sister, and my aunt passed away in 2020. And my Aunt Susan used to love to get in her car and go antiquing, or she'd love to go out in her yard. And she even, like, on her little Instagram bio, it used to say, like, I even enjoy picking weeds, you know, like that was just Susan. She loved working around the house.
Yeah.
And my mom would say, ever since she passed away, I'll think about things like when I'm sitting in traffic and I'm like, oh, there's so many cars on the road, or, you know, this is so bad. She said, I would think about how my sister would probably love to get into the car and sit in the traffic, because once she got sick with leukemia, she couldn't drive her car anymore. Once she got sick, she could never go to an antique store again on her own or go to an estate sale on her own. And so it's exactly what you just said. It's not even having to do certain things because you have to do them. Sometimes you actually aren't able to do them anymore.
Perspective is big. I think the other thing too between you and I is, and I would just, you can't really teach this. You can only encourage this. I absolutely love my life, my business life. I love what I do. And I know you do too. There's nothing around the bake shop and your people and your employees and your customers and everything. You might complain about the metro because it's a handful, but you love it.
Yeah,
it's cute. You built that thing. So I think it's the same thing with me. Like getting to travel. Did I enjoy having a 4-hour delay, a flight delay at 5 a.m?
No.
From Nashville to San Antonio? No. And we went out the night before. I got to actually ride the bull and do the whole Nashville Broadway thing. I was texting you from Broadway going, you would love it down here. And she was like, I'm so
jealous. I can't even, because I love Broadway. I love Nashville, and I couldn't believe I was not there with you.
I know. Next time. It was a really, really quick trip, but I loved every moment of actually getting to get up on stage and speak and share my story and inspire and empower other mortgage professionals to do what I've been able to do over 15 or 16 years. I've dreamed of moments like this. And so, and same thing, sitting down with clients, coming right home and getting to meet with a client on Saturday morning, super tired. That's what it's all about. And I think that mindset around that I'm where I am because I want to be here and I love being here. And then having that attitude of gratitude going, you know what, I get to do this. I don't have to do this. I get to go watch Hudson sit on the bench or DH and only get 3 at-bats in 3 hours of sun. Because I'm going to look back and be like, you know, those were the moments. So.
No,
that's where the energy
it's so
comes
true. When we used to live at our farmhouse and we used to go for walks or runs on the
Centennial Trail.
The Centennial Trail, yes. We used to run back then. Now we're walkers. But I remember thinking about, you know, our good friend Haley and her dad, you know, got in a wreck and became paralyzed and is in a wheelchair now. And I would think about that every time. I used to actually have a shirt that said, I hate running. I used to wear it.
Negative, Jenny.
I know, but I did. I thought it was funny. People, it would make people smile when we were out, you know, doing whatever. But
I thought the one that said shopping is my cardio was better. Didn't you used to have one something like that?
Yeah, I'm sure I did. But I used to think about Todd a lot when I would be drudging through the Centennial Trail running, feeling like just pounding on that pavement and think, Todd wishes he could run, you know.
Yeah, and he has the best attitude of
he
anyone I've ever
does.
met. Yeah.
He does. So, yeah, I mean, I thought, hey, it's a good time to just remind everybody that perspective is everything. You know, we feed into our own energy and we're also the energy like around other people, like how we interact with others. We're either sucking the life out of other people or we're energizing them, and we have the control. We have that control switch.
Here's one quote from your friend, John Gordon, that I absolutely love to just kind of put a cherry on top of this whole Energy Sunday. Remember, you only have one ride through life, so give it all you've got and enjoy the ride. And that's it. That's just the mindset and the perspective. But energy is big. You mentioned that there are, like I mentioned, that from an actual tapping into your caloric energy, right, to help you, energy, there's different types of energy. There's mental, like you can be mentally drained. Physically, you can be physically drained. I believe mental and emotional connect to each other, but I believe that depending on what you're going through in your life, you can have different emotional energy. So I think that we should spend a few moments today just talking about the different types of energy, from studying John Gordon's book, The Energy Bus. Both of us have read that, to living it, because we live it every single day.
We try. I try to be really aware of my energy, and I know that when I have negative energy or when I am like, because it's normal. You guys are going to have negative energy sometimes. You're going to be in a bad mood. You're going to be tired. That's when I kind of just retreat a little bit. I don't answer the phone. I don't, you guys might even notice that on social media. Sometimes I'll just like take a day off from social, and my mom will always text and say, is everything okay? And I'm like, I'm fine. Sometimes I just don't feel like, posting something or being on there. And sometimes she's reading into it and there's nothing.
Yeah.
But it's always good to kind of know if you're in that mood and just, I don't know, take time away to recharge so that you're not sucking somebody else down. Like, I just need a minute, to rest and regroup. I read something the other day. I don't know if this is even related, but I thought it was really interesting about when people say they're depressed and how you can take the word depressed. And if you kind of work on the syllables, it could actually be, I don't know, misinterpreted is the right word, but deep rest. Like, you need deep rest when you're depressed.
Yeah.
And I thought that's so true. And it might not even be depression that you're walking through. Maybe you just need some deep rest because
really
you're
good.
physically tired, you're mentally tired, you might be spiritually tired, whatever it is. Sometimes we just need some rest in our bodies. I was telling you the other day, I was like, gosh, I love January. I want to get back to January. I felt so rested in January. And I had that finger surgery. It's the slowest time of the month for the bake shop, or the slowest time of the year. And I had my rest. And so that's one thing right now. If you're feeling totally overexerted and you're exhausted, you have all these things going on, maybe it's time for you to really focus on your rest at night and setting a bedtime. I know on Apple now on your phones, it can actually tell you it's time for bed. I know you have yours set, but it's amazing when you actually do go to bed at night early, turn off the TV, turn off the movie, the Netflix show, whatever it is that you're doing at night, and go to bed, set your alarm, because when you wake up in the morning after a good night's sleep, you just feel you got good energy.
I had a colleague of mine message me the other day, and he said, I heard you on a coaching video that you did, talking about, filling your mind with certain things, like where you want to go. So whenever I get this idea of something that I'm trying to achieve, or just like last year, for example, I wanted to get better at adding more value through the sales process as I talk with people and understanding the psychology behind sales. Like I'm in sales, right? But I wanted to do it at a higher level and not the cheesy car dealership surface level sales level. So I became infatuated with really, truly understanding sales at a really high level, like understanding like Zig Ziglar and Grant Cardone and Jim Rohn, and then even looking into the neuroscience, the neurological part of like how people interpret information and how the words that we say can help people and help disarm them to make a better sales decision on their end, okay? And so I became infatuated with that about a year ago. Well, it's funny how all that works. I read, and then I get better at it, and it actually works, and it's helped me in my business. And so I was talking about it on a coaching video. And he messaged me the other day, and he said, Dan, it's so weird. I listened to that, and then I was sitting there like I do every single night watching 2 to 3 hours of TV, and it didn't do anything for me. It wasn't the dopamine levels or whatever we get from watching like whatever TV. And he was like, I just turned it off and grabbed a book a business book that I've been meaning to read that I bought, like many others that I bought and then never really read or finished it. And he was like, I got into it. And he was like, next thing you know, I'm an hour into this book. And the next thing you know, I'm doing it again the next night. And now I have this habit of where I'll read before I go to bed. I wake up with more energy, like wanting to go out and win the day and conquer the day, versus waking up going, I wonder what I'm going to do today, or I have to do this today.
Oh my gosh. So while you were gone, I don't think I told you this yet, because I don't watch a ton of TV, because Dan doesn't watch a lot of TV. So if you don't watch it, I'm not going to stay up late and watch TV without you. But I love this show, Firefly Lane, so much. It's only 2 seasons, and I've already watched the whole first season. But since you were gone, I thought I'm just going to indulge. But I know myself. You and I are the same way. We're all in on something. It's go big or go home. And this is why the season came out a while ago. Haven't turned it on because I know I can't stop. But I knew if you were gone, I could hit it hard.
Hit it hard, baby. Binge.
So the first night, I was up until 4 a.m. I could not turn it off. I watched the whole thing.
That's funny.
And I know it about myself, and I don't like it about myself either, because I wish TV would go back to the way it used to be, where you just watch one show on Thursday night and you had to wait a whole week.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to see what happened. And Dan's not even home, so I'm just going to keep going. Yeah. And I love this show. And so I got to it was like 4:10 a.m. and I thought I had a 1.5 episodes left. And I knew I'm going to bawl my eyes out. If you guys are familiar with the show, you probably have seen it and cried too. But I thought, I'm going to be absolutely wrecked tomorrow if I stay up until 6 a.m. to finish. So I'm going to save. I'll save the last hour and a half. But this is what you're saying, to piggyback on that. It's why I don't watch TV, because I can't stop. Like, I'll just stay up, and I know I'm going to be not my best self the next day because I'm exhausted. My eyes are puffy. I haven't slept well. You pay for it the next day.
You pay for it.
But yeah,
well, that's why we make a good
telling you the
pair,
truth while
because I don't do that.
Well, you
can't do that.
What were you doing up? Why'd you text me? Because I texted you at your time in Nashville,
when
6 a.m.
Yeah.
And you go, why were you up at 4?
Yeah, I get a text at 4 a.m, her time. Love you. Have a great day. And I'm like, what are you doing up?
I hadn't gone to bed yet. So yeah, this is why I don't watch TV, you guys. I can't let it go. I think how you eat too, and this is hard to come out of my mouth because I love sweets. I'm the cookie girl. And recently I'm a Dorito girl. Love the Doritos. And I know if I sit around and eat a bunch of Doritos, I feel like garbage. I actually do get puffy from that. You can tell I have swollen eyes because the sodium in that. It's not good for you. But if you're feeling like you're lacking energy, you literally are what you put in your body.
Absolutely.
So we're fueling with Subway right now because
so here I will encourage
all that
you.
Sodium in their
this
fake
is
meat.
Totally scripted. Like, for example, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Every quarter I do a blood draw. And I have blood work done and blood work analyzed. And I did this about 2 years ago. I started doing this. I learned this from a colleague of mine down in Texas. He introduced me to, when he hit a certain age, I think when he hit 38, it's called a presidential exam. And what they do is they draw a bunch of blood, and then they run you through, and they tell you like the different vitamins and levels in your blood and the different hormone levels.
Totally.
And then they provide a list of supplements around that. And I know you can attest to this.
For sure.
I started doing this about 1.5 years ago, and I do this like a thyroid supplement, and I do I'm 47, you guys, so I do like a testosterone supplement and a human growth hormone supplement just to make sure that your levels, that your body is effectively producing the amounts of, and those are just like 4 of the different hormones or levels. There's, I don't know, I think it's like a 100-point checklist. And then they give you nutritional information on how to improve. For men like me, when you hit a certain age, your testosterone levels go down, and women, different hormone levels go down or whatever. And so what to eat and how to do things naturally that will stabilize those. It's helped out. It's helped a ton.
Oh my gosh, 1,000%.
But you are right. Your diet is a big part of that. The doctor said that. It's a naturopath, and the naturopath said you are what you eat. And you have to understand that when we're eating processed foods, it's not allowing your body to naturally produce the right energy from, or pull out the right energy and produce energy from those foods or those nutrients. And so I think nutrition is so big. I do believe so, and I encourage you. You can do the same thing. Any naturopath will do this. In fact, your sister-in-law is a naturopath, and we learned a lot from her because she did the same thing. And so, just reach out to if you're local, I can give you a recommendation. But I think that's really big, is understanding your body's chemistry and how it's actually working at your age and with what you're putting into it.
Yeah, I also made a new rule at our house. Like, if you get me C's candies for Mother's Day, I only want the half pound, not the whole pound, because I think I ate half a box yesterday.
That's crazy.
And I knew today I'd feel like garbage. And guess what? I do.
It's
today, so far, I've had a protein bar and my Better Greens and water because I feel like I need to flush it all out.
You're on a 3-day sugar fast.
I am. Gross. I know, but they're just so good. They're so good. Exercise. I'm feeling the lack of that because you've been gone, so we haven't been able to do our walks. But I've been on my Peloton all week. But it really, I feel like the Peloton is therapy for me. It's 30 minutes, 45 minutes of somebody else speaking life into you, fun music and sweating it out. I mean, but I get the same, if not more, when you and I get to go on a walk.
You and I do it at night when most people, or we in the past, were sitting around and snacking or
watching TV
on social media or just sitting around. And so we take Penny and our our little Maltipoo has lost some weight as a result.
She has.
she's
she's
toned up.
She has. The other things, you can do if you're feeling low energy is, for me, sometimes I just need to like phone a friend who has good energy and don't call the ones that don't have good energy. And I'll be real honest. My grandma's 88 and she's pretty negative, and I try to call her a lot, but I know if my energy's down, I can't be sucked down into that. So kind of know your surrounding. I love her to pieces, but I just know if I'm tired and I've got a lot going on, it's not a good idea to call because I just don't have the mental energy to bring her up to. It's actually just going to suck me down. Where I know, I could call my friend Erica, happiest teas on earth, if I need a little pick me up. So kind of recognizing.
I love.
Oh my gosh, Heather for sure. I actually
always,
did call her last week. I needed some extra energy, and she's like, "Is everything okay?" Well, I just needed to laugh.
You'll learn this in reading John Gordon's book that you're either an energy giver, like you're producing energy, like a power plant. You're producing energy, or you're a vampire. You're sucking it. You're taking it, and sometimes it's okay. You can't always be positive. I give this example all the time. This isn't in the book, and I learned this a long time ago from Zig Ziglar, that a battery in a car that has 2 positive terminals doesn't work. You got to have, you can't be positive all the time. Right. But I believe, and my encouragement would be to be cautious of the person that you're talking to. Do they need your energy? And if they need it, then you got to provide it.
Yeah.
And sometimes they need it and they're going to suck you down to about half full. So then you got to go recharge your battery. When
oh my gosh. In January, when I took Allie for her birthday to California and I met my friend Heather and Jen, and we brought Allie's little friend Claire, it was pouring down rain. And I'm not used to going to California in the pouring down rain. I get excited to get off the plane in Orange County and see the sunshine and do my regular routine of the things we do. And it was dumping rain. And I'm like, I'm really sorry, you guys, but like, I just can't, it's hard, when you're thinking it's going to be a certain way. And my friend Jen feeds off my energy. And so it was hard that weekend because I was trying to be in as best of mood as I could be, but we were being completely shut down from every angle. It was dumping rain. Everything Allie wanted to do was, outside, so we couldn't do any of that. I mean, it was just like one door closed after the other, and we were trying to have the best time. But like when I say dumping rain, like you get out of the car and you walk to a store and you are drenched. And it was like, now I know I'm so self-aware that if it's going to be pouring down rain on a vacation, please, I don't want to go. Same with heat, and I'm very self-aware of this.
You would not have liked Nashville or San Antonio.
I know I can't go to Nashville when it's hot because
muggy.
It sucks my energy, and I can try really, really hard. And I wasn't like in a bad mood or anything, but I wasn't the usual like fun Jenny when we get to be together, like for the girls' weekend. I'm like, they were like, we can tell. And then it made everybody's energy down. But we laugh about it now. They know we can't go if it's raining. It's just gross out. But gosh, it's just that crazy, crazy, crazy time of year. We're at the home stretch. We have so much to be grateful for. I try to really focus on that when I'm feeling exhausted or tired and overwhelmed and all of the things that I'm feeling currently. I think I have every emotion there is out there, and I think you do too. So practicing our gratitude every single day. We went and walked down to the new house last night and just sat on
the beach.
We sat on the beach, like just on the rocks. And I just said, I cannot believe that we get to move into this house, and like what a beautiful life that we have, amongst all the challenges.
And just a lot reflection too, a lot that you it's so funny. You're so cute. You asked me, we're just sitting there and you were like, can we afford this? And I'm like, babe, we bought this. Like, yes. And it's just a combination of, and I was talking to Hudson about this the other day. It's a combination of 40 plus years of specifically, let's just say the last 15 to 20 of doing the little things right. Like making the right decisions with investing, setting money away, not living outside of our means, and then working our fannies off, both of us. And so, it's a great time, but it's also great. And this is something that from an energy standpoint, and I'll kind of put a bow on everything that we're talking about today with this, that, adversity and dealing with tough things or hard things, I don't run from those. I don't run from hard things, especially in business, because I always know that when there is a tough file or a tough client or a tough realtor, or even as I go to recruit and hire really good loan officers, mortgage professionals, and they say no, or they say not now, I know that I'm going to continue to persevere and I'm going to continue to work with them and I'm going to work through all of this. Because on the other side of that is freedom. On the other side of that is
confidence
happiness and joy, and you've overcome something. Yeah, so you've got a new level of confidence. The conversation I was having with Hudson was like, look down at our hands and see these calluses. Like I have calluses from, probably not from a long time ago playing baseball, but from exercising, lifting weights.
Yeah.
And our bodies, and mentally and physically, we get to, when you overcome things and you deal with hard things and you work through those, you develop those calluses so it's not as hard next time.
Yeah.
And you don't feel the pain as much because of those calluses next time. So I want to encourage you. That's my words of encouragement with energy this week is, hey, we all encounter tough times. We are going through tough times right now in some things in business, some things in our personal life, and just mindset is big. Mindset is really big.
Well, one thing you said to me when we were driving the other day, and I was saying, like, why am I going through this? Like, why is this happening? And you said, why did I do to deserve, da-da-da? And you were like, tell me what you said, because now I've tried to replay it in my head exactly what, I know what you meant, but I couldn't remember your exact words. But you were like, you didn't have this happen to you. God gave this to you.
Yeah.
Because
he's challenging you.
Because he's challenging
you. Because one, I think you've got an easy life.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm joking.
I do not have an easy life.
He's challenging you. I think all of us. I mean, we can go back. We talked about your aunt earlier.
Yeah.
Like, you have to understand, and you'll understand this if you read the book, The Energy Bus. John Gordon talks about purpose. I believe, and this is, without getting too spiritual, you have to have a purpose. If you don't have a purpose, there's nothing worth living for, or it's superficial, it's earthly. Our purpose, my purpose as a Christian, is to tell others about the love that Jesus has for us and the opportunity that we get to spend eternity with Jesus, right? Okay, so let's table that for a second. Susan, the nicest, most pure, amazing, selfless, giving, loving human being that I've ever met, your aunt, your mom's sister, retires and has her retirement in front of her. And a couple of years into that, to spend with her grandkids and her kids, a couple of years into that, she gets a brain tumor and leukemia.
Yeah.
Like the double whammy. And 2 years later, the Lord takes her. Most of us would be like, why? Like, why? Why, Susan? Why that adversity? Why that pain? Why those difficulties?
Why her? Yeah.
Why? God has a bigger plan. I'm reading through the Bible right now with a friend, and we're in Luke, and Jesus is talking to John. John had some ailments. He was crippled. And he was like, why, Jesus? You're healing all these people. Why don't you heal me? And he's like, your healing is in heaven. Like, it's down the road. It's eternity. Right now, you've got 30 or 40 or 50 years here on earth.
Yeah.
There's a bigger plan. There's something bigger ahead. And that's kind of what I was saying to you.
That's what you said to me. You said he's preparing you for something else.
Something bigger. Something bigger.
And I was like, holy cow, what is it? It's going to be something big.
Hey, well, I can tell you,
I'm
you
here
got
for
something
it.
big ahead of you. So, yeah, it's all good. I think we just have to, again, it's just perspective and focusing on something greater than us, something greater than this earth. And that's God.
Well, guys.
And that's my message, my sermon for the week.
We've had some good conversations lately where I'm like, Dan put it out there in January that he was really wanted to be what did you say it? Like, not nationwide speaker, but like a big time speaker.
I want to be a speaker one day.
Well, you are. But I mean, the way you put it in your social media post when I read it, I was like, okay, like he's got some big, hairy, audacious goals, right? But you're doing it. You're doing it. You're being paid to like fly all over the country right now and speak in the mortgage space. And this week I was like, maybe it's going to be Pastor Dan. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what's ahead. We don't know what our future holds right now. We're just one day at a time right now, living for...
Just doing a podcast and slinging mortgages.
One day at a time, focusing on the good, looking for the good, trying to have good energy when we can, and getting her done.
That's what it's about.
You know, focusing on get to and have to. And if you guys can get through this week, which I say this is what I think this is what you're trying to say that I say this time of year is it's just one more week. Like at the end of this week, it's not going to be as crazy next week. And then I said that 2 weeks ago. And now I'm like, okay, next week is not going to be crazy. And then I know next week's going to be crazy. I'm like, just wait till we get to June. June's going to be calm. And I sent your assistant our calendar this morning. Did you see it? It's like
it was a novel.
every single day.
That's a busy.
We have something every single day. But you know what? I'm grateful we have something to do every single day. I'm grateful that I have.
I get Monday.
Yep, I get to do all these things. So I hope that this podcast encourages you guys to look at your situation a little bit differently, just as we are. And
and go get John's book. The
Energy Bus. It's a good one.
Small, easy read. You could probably read it in 2 days, one day. But it's a good book I just wish I would have read little books like this a lot sooner in life.
They're such easy reads.
I spent my teens and my 20s with a bad attitude. Like I give that talk all the time to kids. Like I had a bad attitude because I set unrealistic expectations for myself and my life. And when I realized to focus on Dan, focus on the day, focus on the process and not the outcome, that I have to be perfect, that I have to get a bunch of hits in baseball, that I have to be the perfect coach or the perfect whatever, and just focus on the process, you find more joy and then you appreciate it. So Energy Bus, I absolutely love it. John Gordon, follow him on Instagram. He will encourage you.
Yep.
Because that's what he does.
Oh, he's so good.
He's good.
He's a good one. Well, do you have any challenges for anybody? I mean, you kind of gave them quite a few already.
I think my challenge would be to and this is out of the book, I would challenge you with this. This is what I'd leave you with because I try to practice this daily. Every morning you have a choice. Are you going to be a positive thinker or a negative thinker? Positive thinking will always energize you. So I want to encourage you. Here's my challenge to you and encouragement. When you wake up in the morning, have a positive outlook. Like I get to, even if the first thing you have to do that day is to go to the doctor and give blood or whatever, it's negative, you get to do X. And then, or maybe something is very difficult. The first task of the day is difficult. Your whole day can't be difficult. I always tell this to salespeople. Did you have a bad minute that you stretched out into an hour and then it ended up taking up your whole day so you had a quote unquote bad day? Or did you truly have a bad day?
Yeah.
Like most people don't have 12 to 14 hours of horribleness straight through the day. You had a bad moment that you milked for 12 hours.
Well, you could even take it further and teach a friend about the have to get to and then do it with your friend. Even when you're doing the crappy stuff, like this is what Heather and I do. Like I get to clean up dog poop this morning. I get to do my kids' laundry. I get to drive like a taxi cab this entire week everywhere.
Phone a friend.
You know, it's funny and it puts a little humor behind it and you're doing it together. You're encouraging one another.
Yeah. That's my challenge. Your mindset, positive thinking, this second is get online and go buy John's book and read it.
That's a good one.
The
Energy Bus. All right, you guys, I hope you have an amazing week. We will see you next Monday for another episode of the Baker and the Banker podcast. If you like this one, give us a 5-star review on Apple. We would appreciate it. Goodbye.
Bye, guys.